Now, of course, one of the very best things about the Creative Cloud is the ability to have something called libraries. Now, libraries are basically your hub for all your assets, whether it's fonts, brushes, swatches, or anything, even images. And they're consistent throughout all your Adobe applications. So if you're in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, you can access your libraries and get to all the same assets at the same time. And that way you're not doubling up using one image in another document in InDesign and then you're using it in Photoshop, whatever like that. You can manage them much better and easily in one place and be able to distribute them out to all your Adobe applications consistently. And you can manage it if you're on a team. You can actually push them out and share your libraries with other teams as well. But there's a lot of enhancements too. So again, I'm inside Photoshop, and if we go and look here inside of the Start menu, remember I mentioned there are some things that you can automatically go ahead and add to your library. So for instance, here we have this free brushes product and mockups for your library. If I click on that, it's going to go ahead and immediately sync that to my libraries in my Creative Cloud account. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new document here. And let's just create a simple file there, and there we go. Now, to access your libraries, of course, obviously you have to be signed into your Creative Cloud account. And then you're going to just go under the window menu and go down here and choose libraries. And it's already in my, there we go. I'm just going to go and drag it out and show you here. Now, the libraries panel is a very powerful panel, again, because it houses all your assets that you keep on your Creative Cloud account. So as I mentioned, you've got various colors here. You've got colored themes and layer styles, brushes. You've got all kinds of things that you can store in here. Other graphic elements and such like that. Now, notice, if I go and click on my menu here, so we got branding identity. Now, I'm going to click on that. That is part of the set I just downloaded and added to my collection here. And once you have a collection of some libraries in here, all you have to do is just simply grab it and drag it onto your document, whatever it is, and just simply scale it, position it how you would any other placed image. And there you have your image. Now in the layers panel here, let's go ahead and drag the layers out. You'll notice that it's represented by a cloud icon here. This indicates to you that this is, of course, a cloud asset pulled from your cloud library. So if I double click on it, you'll see it opens it up like a smart object, of course. And here you can see the various layers that make up this particular image. And I can go in there and modify them and change them and do whatever I want to, and then be able to bring it back to my original design. Now this, of course, saves to your library as well. So any changes you make, it's going to go ahead and modify them and change them as well. And you're able to do that. Now, like I said, you're of course able to sync up libraries. So right now it's actually loading that library I just loaded just a moment ago. But what I've done is I've gone and created a various collections of folders like Adobe Stock, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. Fuse models, we're going to get into that a little bit later about creating 3D models, and I've created a special place to keep those. And again, if I go into Adobe Stock, you can see there's some stock images that I've gone ahead and downloaded in here. Now, Adobe Stock is really cool, and what they've done is integrated it really well with your Creative Cloud applications, especially Photoshop here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do a little bit of browsing here. Let's go into my Creative Cloud application, and here immediately you can see my Adobe Stock tab. And let's just say I wanted to find a sports car. And this really saves you a lot of time because you can do this right away, jump right in here and have a look. Now here's the really cool part. It does open up a browser, and you can go in here and just kind of scroll around and find a bunch of images. A lot of really great stuff in here. Now, what you want to do is I'm going to go over here. Now, when you find an image, you click right on it, and you can click on this arrow in the middle. And what it's done is it's gone ahead and saved it. Now, if I just click on it and hold down here, you can actually tell it what library or what folder in your libraries panel you want it to save it to. So like, again, I have a Adobe Stock folder already created. So I went ahead and had that saved there. So you can see it, your preview was saved. Now it's only saving a preview, of course, because these images you have to buy separately. They have a subscription model too that you can sign up for as well. But and you never know if the design is going to work, so you want to make sure you download a preview first. But I don't have to download a comp from the site onto my desktop and then reopen it in Photoshop and everything like that. Don't really have to do that. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and close that, jump back over to Photoshop, and you'll notice it's already syncing to my library panel here. And any moment that car is going to go ahead and show up, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off, or rather throw away this layer here. And you can see I've got some other examples of images that I've gone in here and created and everything like that. But here's the really cool part. So I'm just going to give it a second for that, that image to go ahead and download. But when you integrate this, or when you use these preview images in your designs, and you decide, hey, I think that's going to work, I want to go ahead and get the full, or buy the full res version of that, you don't have to go back to the site and re-download it and then re-import it into your project, but rather it will. So I'm going to go drag it out, and let's just go ahead. Oh, I don't want to distort it. Let's go ahead and scale it up and do it like that. So let's just say, for instance, I've got this image and I've got a design. Let's go ahead and add a second one here. Why not? And let's just kind of do a quick composite here. Now you'll notice in my layers panel, it still has that cloud icon. I'm going to go ahead and give this a let's just quick little fade here, and let's just reposition this car up here. And there we have that. So obviously this is just very quick and easy, but just to give you an idea, let's say this was a finished design that I was working on, and I didn't want to really go through all the pain of backing it in the high-res image and then re-importing it and going through all that masking effort, all of that again. All you have to do is simply go to your libraries panel, right-click or control-click on the object, and then sit right here. It's going to say By Image. And when you do that, it's going to go and ask you, so this will use one of your, so I have 120 credits on my, my license right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And what that's going to do is go ahead and make that the high-res version of that image. And if I just go ahead and so you can see it's syncing now. Now, there it is in its high res. I didn't have to re-import it, didn't have to do any of that. That car is there now in full resolution. I don't even have to go and re-import it. That's the great thing about Adobe Stock. It's not just going and finding an image, but you can actually work with previews, build your design almost as a finished design, then get it approved, and then go and import the images and just go and buy each individual image, and it will go ahead and resize itself right inside the image. Don't have to do anything else. That is a fantastic, great new feature about the libraries and, of course, Adobe Stock. And if you can find out, of course, more, if you're in your Creative Cloud app, just go over there and just go to Adobe Stock. It's actually stock.adobe.com, I believe, is the address. Let's go ahead and double check that. So there we go. All right. Yep, stock.adobe.com. So you can go in and find out more and just go in there and actually just take time and look around the Adobe Stock site. You're going to find a lot of great things in there. So they've got course photographs, they've got illustrations, and they've got videos that you can go in there and integrate as well. And the videos, of course, well, they're going to be including videos pretty soon. They're not quite there yet. But they will be. So right now you can search out photos, illustrations, and vectors. And pretty soon I think you'll be able to do video as well. So just another way of integrating into your workflow. And again, once they're in your libraries, and even when you buy, whether it's a preview or the full res version, they're always going to remain in your library until you go in there and manually delete it. Now, you can, of course, also share it with other people. So if you have a high-res image, you want to share it with another designer, just go ahead and right here, you can do a share link or collaborate with a bunch of other designers if you're on a design team or something like that. So a lot of really powerful features when it comes to utilizing your libraries here inside Photoshop. And of course, if you're in a document, you've built some custom graphic elements you want to include in your library, you can just simply drag and drop them from your layers panel into your libraries panel, and it will go ahead and sync it to your Creative Cloud account. Really easy way to manage assets all within the application and not having to go outside of it, drag and drop or upload to the server or anything like that. All can be done right from within the application itself. And not just Photoshop, of course. You can do this in Illustrator, InDesign. It's across all the Adobe applications. So it's a really, really easy way to get into your workflow and really concentrate on design and not so much about logistics of all your asset management. So again, check it out. Libraries panel, Adobe Stock, a lot of really cool new features there.